Death of the artist is a concept derived from a literary theory that argues that the meaning of a text is not determined by the author's intention, but rather by the reader's interpretation. This theory was first introduced by French philosopher Roland Barthes in his essay, The Death of the Author, in 1967. Essentially, Barthes is arguing that art should stand alone regardless of the artist's intentions. But really, it's been co-opted into modern times as a way for people to reconcile the fact that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is one of the greatest albums of our lifetime, but it was made by a man who said he loves Hitler.
I see good things about Hitler also. The Jew, I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
The theory is asking you, can you separate the art from the artist? Does the art stand alone from the artist, or does the perspective of the artist, say in loving Hitler, influence your opinion on that piece of art? Salvador Dali has created some of the most stunning and striking works of art ever put to canvas. I know that most of my audience isn't really the high art crowd, but I'm sure that anyone with eyes can tell you that the melting clock joint is pretty dope. But now I'm gonna ask you, do you like this painting as much if you knew that Salvador Dali also loved Hitler? Yes, he was the Kanye West of his time. Who knew that one of the greatest creative muses in history was Adolf Hitler? What a baddie. I might have been high when I wrote this, but I digress. Does the fact that these problematic artists that gave birth to these masterworks make them less appealing to your eyes and ears? Is it even ethical to enjoy in their splendor when you also know that the artists who birthed these works were raging anti-Semites? Yes, if you're Palestinian. But Death of the Artist has been a way for people to rationalize their love for art when the artist is problematic or has political leanings that don't align with their own. Kanye West and Salvador Dali are just two of many problematic artists throughout history. P. Diddy freak parties, surviving R. Kelly, Chris Brown doing this to Rihanna's face. Yet, when their music comes on, they are undeniable. They indeed made some bangers. The greatest pop artist of all time, Michael Jackson, allegedly did unspeakable acts to young children. But Thriller was so good that people's general reaction to this is this.
I don't think he did it. But you know what? Even if he did do it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, it's Michael Jackson.
Dave Chappelle himself has been an interesting case study. Widely considered the greatest living stand-up comedian, and arguably the greatest to ever do it. He has, over the last half-decade, received a lot of criticism and widespread calls to boycott his work because of a series of anti-trans jokes that have been a recurring theme throughout his Netflix specials. Similarly, J.K. Rowling has seemingly become the face of the anti-trans movement for sharing a lot of dangerous and unsavory rhetoric to her tens of millions of followers over on Twitter. And that has left the whole generation who grew up loving Harry Potter feeling a little bit icky when they ordered that frozen butterbeer at Harry Potter World. That tastes good, but does it taste like bigotry? So I say all this preamble to propose an idea. Can we take the concept of Death of the Artist and pose it onto the world of sports? Art is defined as the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpting, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. By that definition, are you going to sit there with a straight face and argue with me that Lionel Messi is not one of the greatest artists of our time? That watching him play is not a human expression of creative skill and imagination? Or that his run at the 2022 World Cup was not a body of work that should be appreciated for its beauty and emotional power? You're going to honestly look me in the face and say that this isn't art, but a banana duct taped to a wall is. So if you can accept this premise, then you'll understand that when some of us saw the greatest soccer player America has ever produced hit the Trump dance after one of the most derisive elections in our nation's history, we got a little upset.
Emotional, damn it!
But to those of us who got made to feel a little uncomfortable by this, I ask the question, should you apply Death of the Artist here? Now I must say, you gotta remember that this dance for over 77 million Americans was awesome. No Death of the Artist need apply. But to the 74 million other Americans, this was like seeing Goku do the Nazi salute. How do you reconcile Christian Pulisic, Captain America, hitting the Trump dance while wearing the red, white, and blue? Can you separate the art, which is him scoring a pivotal goal in a crucial CONCACAF qualifier, having a career renaissance in Italy that single-handedly helped heal Italian and U.S. relations, and the man who also gave us the coldest photo in U.S. men's national team history? Can you separate his art from the artist, who is a guy from Hershey, Pennsylvania, who may support a man who is an accused rapist? And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. In fact, I know you can do it, because you do it already in your everyday life. I'm not kidding. Here, I'll prove it to you. Who watching this would say that they like Kobe Bryant? I mean, who doesn't? He's one of the greatest NBA players of all time. 5 NBA championships. The Mamba mentality. Iconic. And beyond his playing days, he was a devoted father who gave his time and money to numerous charities. And come on, you ever crumpled up a piece of paper, threw that shit in the trash while saying Kobe? Yeah. Well, if you have, then you and Pulisic are alike, in that you both are likely fans of an accused rapist. Yeah, none of us like to mention it, but Kobe caught a rape case back in 2003. Tough. But you know what? I'll give you another example. Let me ask you, who were you rooting for in the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight? And by the way, Netflix, that was a colossal waste of time. But you got us. You got us good. Millions and millions of people tuned in to root for old-ass Mike Tyson to knock out Jake Paul. And unless your name was Logan Paul, you were a Mike Tyson fan that night. Because he gave us the only thing that was actually entertaining about that fight, and that was booty meat memes. And they were glorious. And yeah, if you were the one of millions and millions of people sharing booty meat memes, then you were all, technically, sharing the booty meat of an actual convicted rapist. Yeah, these two men, who are nearly universally beloved, both caught rape charges in their primes. And one of them is technically an actual rapist. But curiously, for some reason, a lot more people cared about Christian Pulisic imitating a dance of an alleged rapist. And I know the rebuttal will be, well, Trump is more than an alleged rapist. He's a racist, a convicted felon. Who would root for someone like that?
Leave me alone!
Yeah, we sports fans kind of do that already, huh? And here's the thing, we don't even know if Christian Pulisic is a Trump supporter like that. When he was asked after the match about the dance, he downplayed it by saying, I saw everyone doing it yesterday in the NFL. I saw John Jones do it, and we were just having a bit of fun. Obviously, that's the Trump dance, but it's just a dance that everyone was doing. He's the one who created it, and I thought it was funny. He would later go on to add, it's not a political dance, it was just for fun. I saw a bunch of people do it, and I thought it was funny, so I enjoyed it. Now, Pulisic wasn't wrong here. John Jones, of course, hit it at UFC 309, which honestly, if you saw that event, that was basically like a coronation for Trump. It was kind of weird. Also, multiple NFL players hit the dance across the league on Sunday, and pretty much no one gave a shit. But for whatever reason, when Pulisic hit the Trump, everyone lost their minds. One of those people was U.S. men's national team icon turned sports pundit Tim Howard, who said this: someone feels strongly the other way, no problem. But if you're going to make a political statement, then be bold and brash enough to stand behind it, Howard wrote. Don't go quiet and plead innocence like Christian Pulisic. Ooh. Why? Because whether it's the President of the United States or my neighbor down the street, I would never back someone I believe is a racist. I wouldn't glorify that. I wouldn't do it for anything. Basically, Tim Howard was saying Pulisic was dog whistling like a bitch. And if he's about that racist shit, then say it with your chest. To that I would say, I don't really know about all that. Because here's the thing, the only other endorsement that Pulisic has ever done that's mildly political was appearing in a video with Western McKinney and Tyler Adams in support of the BLM movement following the murder of George Floyd. You know, that classic racist move. Honestly, who knows what Pulisic's intentions were? Perhaps he's a closeted supporter who let it leak out, or maybe it was just a funny dance that he saw other athletes doing. All in all, if I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of a nothing story. Most likely, it's something that will become a distant memory that you and your friends will recount 20 years from now. Like, oh yeah, do you remember when Pulisic did the Trump dance after he got elected? That was weird, right? It'll be one of those things. But what I do know is, in an ever-increasingly divided world, Pulisic is not the first, nor will he be the last athlete to do some controversial shit. Probably shit that you don't like. And I'm talking to you too, conservatives. Don't think I forgot about you guys. How you guys wouldn't shut the fuck up about Kaepernick kneeling, or when you told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Because this shit cuts both ways. All I'm asking, to everyone, is don't be a hypocrite. Because inevitably, an athlete that you love in the future will do some shit that will piss you the fuck off. And when that does happen, instead of freaking out, throwing a fit, and whining online, might I suggest that you try applying Death of the Artist. And that is going to be it for me on this video. If you did enjoy, please like and or subscribe if you haven't already. I'd like to thank all my patrons keeping me alive and well. Special shout out to everyone in the GOAT tier, to Elm, Robert Matai, Peter Barr, the Fat Austrian, Valente Vasquez, and Movaduck. And of course, the double GOAT, Sandra Jeremy. Thank you to Alex for helping me out this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.